Welcome back to Watches, Whiskies, and Wines. Today, we're going to finish our comparison of Glenmorangie. So this is new to me. I've never done an episode like this. This is a culmination of multiple days of shooting, and I'm glad to finally bring it all together. So thank you for joining me, and we're going to cover the 10-year, the 12-year, 14-year, the Nectar d'Or, Sauternes cask finish. I don't know if it's Dole, I'm not sure, it's like French. And then the Glenmorangie Signet. So obviously this is from lowest tier to highest tier. And there's a bunch of other types of Glenmorangie out there, but this is a pretty good broad spectrum. And these are pretty, low price points. And this gets about mid tier and this gets high tier. So you can kind of see what it is. We're going to do side by side comparison. And I'm going to tell you what I think, And then I think it's going to give you a pretty good idea of what you should do on your own if you want to pick one of these bottles out or if you want a couple of them. So sit back and relax, pour yourself a nice drink, and let's get started. So, to begin with, let's pull out the 10-year and see what we think of the color and the look. One thing I noticed immediately about this is on the top, you're going to see that it doesn't have a gold embossed text, which is, pretty interesting. I guess that's because this is the lowest tier. And then now we're going to open up the La Santa. That's the original, which is the 10-year. This is the La Santa. And as you're going to see, this is sherry cask finish, and it's got that little bit of gold text at the top that's embossed. So I'm assuming that it means it's elevated a little bit. This is now going to be a port cask finish, and it's almost like a copper text at the top. Very nice, And then, of course, we're going to have this golden nectar. It's got even deeper gold-looking text on it. And of course, we've got this Signet, which is just beautiful presentation. This is exactly the kind of presentation I would give to somebody as a gift, which would blow them away because it's something that they could keep in their collection and be like, I'm going to drink it once a year, something along those lines. And it's just beautiful overall. I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit of each. Then we're going to nose them, put it on our palate, make a side-by-side comparison. Really, honestly, think about it, Pull them back here. Like I said, this is the first time I've done a comparison like this, so I don't really know what I'm doing. So you're going to have to bear with me. First, let's pour this up. The color is very, very light. Let's see what this looks like in the glass. Obviously, you can tell it's much darker. I think you could tell here in this comparison how much different that is, So I'm going to put the bottles right behind it as well. And then maybe I'll do a bottle side by side also so you can see that. It's the 14-year, which I'm thinking this is going to be one of my favorite for the lower tiers. This is the Golden Nectar, which is that Sauternes cask finish. And then we're going to finish off with the Signet, which is just not a cheap bottle, and it's heavy cork. It's beautiful. I mean, listen to that. That's like stone. Look at that color. Beautiful color. Wow. All right, so this is what they look like next to each other. I'm assuming you can see that pretty well. I'll move it around a little bit more. And first, I'm actually going to put the bottles up here so you can see this. This is each bottle. 10-year, 12-year, 14-year, Golden Nectar. And then, obviously, you can't really see much through this bottle because of the way they shaded it, but beautiful. Love the design. Love what they've done here. I think it's a great gift. Let's go ahead and nose each one right next to each other. Number one, the 10-year. Actually, very nice. Very, very nice. It's the 12-year sherry cask finish. It's a little bit more musky, a little bit more wood. This is that port finish. Yeah, a lot more sugar. Reminds me of port is because, I'm going to do actually a series on port wine as well because I think that's important for people to learn about. I love port. I mean, this smells great. The Golden Nectar smells impeccable. And then that Signet, forget about it. This is delectable. This is top tier deliciousness. It smells like dessert. It smells like something special. You get a little bit of coffee, and that tiramisu that people talk about, you really actually smell it. It's special. Let's go ahead and put this tenure on the palate and see what we think. It's a little rough. I wasn't actually going to do a pairing, but I kind of want to cut through each one when I try it. I've got some black and white cashews, which is white chocolate on the inside, dark chocolate on the outside. This is a dark chocolate from Bolivia with raisins on the inside. And this is chocolate that's got almonds, which is like a thin chocolate with almonds and sea salt. So I'm going to use that to cut. A little bit of fattiness helps, you know. Helps get rid of the flavor of the whiskey. The 12 years almost like a bourbon, to be honest. You know, it tastes like a bourbon. And that's not really what I expect when I drink a Scotch or a whiskey. So let's see. The 14-year, it's nice. Very nice. Let's go ahead and cut again. Yeah, fattiness there. Try to get rid of a little bit of the whiskey flavor. Let's try this golden nectar. It just smells better than it tastes. That's the easiest way for me to put it. This smells amazing. On the nose, it's great. But on the palate, it lacks. It just does. Compared to how great it smells and it tastes, it just lacks. This has a great smell and a great taste, this 14-year. Let's try the Signet. Signet. Wow. There's so much flavor. There's so much dessert. It's so complex. So many layers. When you have something that's expensive, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be better. I totally agree with that. Some people say that things that are more expensive are better, or sometimes they say they're not as good. It's just, you know, it's just pomp. It's just something that people make sound better because of the brand or because of recognition. But in this particular situation, this is actually better. It is a lot more expensive than these, and it is amazing. There's so much complexity to it, so many layers, can't beat it. I would say, out of all of these, this probably gets about a 4 in terms of smoothness. This I would probably give a 6, maybe close to a 7. This one I'd probably give a 5 on smoothness. This right here, easily 8, 9. 8 or 9, almost close to a 10. But I would say it's more of an 8, 9. Just very solid 8, middle of the road 9. This one costs quite a bit more, so that might make somebody go, no, I'd rather just have maybe the 14-year. And I would say in my collection, I'm probably going to keep a 14-year from now on. This port cask finish, probably in my collection indefinitely, because this is great. I'm glad I did this comparison. I'm glad I went through all this, because without doing this, I wouldn't have known. Putting in this work, which obviously I'm just drinking liquor, it's not that important, it's just whiskey, but putting in this work means that now when I get to go share this with other people, I get to give them knowledge. I get to share with them something amazing that I learned on my own, and I hope that you can do the same. So I want to thank you for joining me today. This was a great experience. I pulled it together over multiple days, took a lot of work. It was not easy. I'm glad that you enjoyed this with me. I'm glad that you spent the time. I hope that you leave some comments. I hope that you communicate with me and tell me what's going on. Tell me what you think about these different types of tastings and what you think about Glenmorangie, what else you want to see in the future. You know, like, subscribe, share. Share this with other people. This is how they're going to learn about how to drink something nice and share it with others. Thank you very much. Take care.